Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. I'm coming back with the information I wanted to show. About where that psychiatrist thinks I'm paranoid, that people were out to get me. Well, for one thing, here is the warning ticket that was given to me. Well, actually, it wasn't given to me. This police officer stopped and wanted to know where Aunt Dama was. Well, I told him she had just left to go to work to the Newcomerstown truck stop. They know where she works. But he asked me, where does she work at? I'm like, Newcomerstown truck stop. You know where she works at. I mean, stop playing dumb. You're not dumb. You know what you're doing. You're harassing us. Because just a few days before he stopped by, I had cleaned up and I had put. See, there was that week. They have certain time in the spring where 1 week they were you could set a lot of stuff out in front of your house, and the street department would come along and haul it away. Now, if it's an appliance or a bigger item, you had to pay for it to be hauled away. But if you have stuff that your normal garbage man doesn't haul away unless they charge extra. See, back then, Kimball, which is the main garbage place, and they have their own trucks now, Kimball. Before it was J&J, and then Kimball bought J&J. And so there's a lot of towns, villages that are using Kimball instead of doing their own trash pickup. And then there were individual garbage people that would go around and pick up garbage as well. And back then we had an individual guy that would go around and pick up garbage, and of course he was a Christian guy, but he was charging Aunt Dama, because it's Aunt Dama's house, and he was charging Aunt Dama the rate for senior citizens, and therefore we were limited on how many bags we could set out. I think it was like 2 bags or 3 bags was the limit. Any more than that, we had to pay extra for. And then Dama didn't want to pay extra. No, she didn't want to pay any more than what she wanted to pay. Well, my ex-wife and my sons were into scrapping, going around and getting people's, metal, scrap, and then hauling it to the scrap yard to make extra money. But the police didn't like that, because there was scrap in her pickup truck. Bicycles and other metal in her pickup truck. And then we had some bicycles on one side of the house that we were, taking apart to, scrap. And then we had some lumber that was out back that from remodeling the house. What we saved some lumber. And there was a tree that my son was cutting up for, because where we had cookouts a lot, and we didn't use coal, the briquettes, you know, that you would go, you know, get to put in a grill. We used wood. Well, there again, the system didn't like that. The police didn't like us having wood around our house for us to use for cookouts. Who gives them the right and the authority to tell people what they cannot have for cookouts? Nobody. Not even Mayor Carr at the time. What boils down to is Mayor Carr was having a war with a councilman who went to the Assembly of God church that I went to in Newcomerstown, Wise, over Wise's mother's property. Wise, he had a full-time job working out of town, besides being a councilman. And his mother died and left him the property, and of course he couldn't mow the grass all the time, and the grass would get way high, and the neighbors would complain, and then of course Mayor Carr and he just got after everybody in Newcomerstown. I really didn't have a problem with Mayor Carr. I had a problem with the Newcomerstown Police Department, especially Officer Miller at the time. He thought his, you know what, didn't stink. And then there was Walter Thornsley. Well, who came to that day to give Aunt Dummy the ticket was Miller. Tim Miller. Well, back up before that, my ex-wife's van that she had, Esther van that she had at the time, had broke down. The starter went out of it. And she was working as a home health aide, and she parked the van in front of her home health aide's house, where her home health aide had a handicap spot painted for her. She didn't have a car of her own. She couldn't drive. So she, you know, would have her aides take her where she needed to go, especially my ex-wife. And her were close. And so my ex-wife would take her places. So she would park her van in her client's handicap spot. It broke down. The starter went out of it. But the police, now get this, okay? It's my ex-wife's van. It was registered in my ex-wife's name. The license plates was under my ex-wife's name. Not my name, my ex-wife's name, Barb McKim. Long story short, the police wrote a warning ticket in my name. Of course, you know, wrote down the license number at the time. It was a Chevy Astra 88, you know, and it's like, can't they, you know, can't they do what they're supposed to do? Get on the radio and give them this license plate number and see who it comes back to? No, they didn't do that. They just, oh, that's Bob's van. That's Bob's van. So we're writing it for him because they didn't like me. They didn't like the fact that I had the radio patrol. They didn't like the fact that I was in React, because Newcomerstown Police Department and the police officers, they wanted to be in control of everything. The problem is, my cousin, Brian Hersey, my dad's sister's son, he started out as a dog warden in Coshocton County, and he studied and became a deputy sheriff, and then he went to West Lafayette, became a police officer, and then he went to Newcomerstown, became a police officer there as well, and went on to become, I think, sergeant, and then he became the chief of police of Newcomerstown when all this was going on. And again, here, they wrote me a ticket, warning ticket, about me parking on the sidewalk. Well, of course, right there, they couldn't even, they didn't even put the address right. 1355. Oh, okay, that's a violation. Okay. Of course, 1012 West State Street. But what happened was, there's an area where we parked at, right beside the house. The sidewalk, of course, is in front of the house, and there was this area that we park at beside the house. And it was graveled. Well, see, there was an alley, a public alley, then the place that we park at beside the house, and we had gravel in there, and basically it was only barely big enough for 3 vehicles parked in there. They were bumper to bumper, and I think I don't know if I had my Ford at the time or not. I think maybe I still had my Ford Fairmont parked up in front, way up by the bush. And then behind that was Barb's car. And then, or maybe the truck was up front. I think the truck was up front. And Barb's car, and then my car was right back behind, and actually the back bumper was a little over the sidewalk. I wasn't technically parked on the sidewalk. My tires, the tires was in our parking spot. The back bumper was over the sidewalk a little bit. But yet, they loved to harass me. Is that paranoia? No, it's not paranoia. And then we constantly had things stolen out of our vehicles. Constantly having things stolen from out in front of the house, and things stolen out of the vehicles, like spare change, cigarettes. My ex-wife smoked. Her cigarettes were constantly coming up missing. One day, the kids was outside, and they caught our neighbor, Chuck McGonigal, over by our vehicles. So I bought this camera so I could put up and angle it where we parked our cars. And it hooked up to a VCR so I could tape record things at night, and especially when we wasn't home. Lo and behold, would you believe I caught him going into our vehicles? I tried to tell the police department, but they we can't do nothing about it, 'cause he's nuts. We know he's nuts. I'm like, if you know he's nuts, and he's breaking into our vehicles, why don't you arrest him? That's theft. He's breaking into our vehicles and stealing stuff. The Newcomerstown Police Department just would not do anything to help us, but yet they did everything to harass us. And is that paranoia? No, it's not paranoia. It's the truth, the God's honest truth. But people like that Denise Kohler, all she wants to do is print up lies and ruin people and try to make everything look, you know. It's like all these, you know. All this studying that I've gone through, in her, you know, in her mind, and also in and then see, I was originally ordained by my cousin, who was also a minister, in 1989. And then I briefly gave it up and was ordained with, which I'm still ordained with, I'm ordained with the United Christian Ministries International. I'm ordained with them. I've been ordained with them since December 22nd of 2003. And I also received a church charter for my ministry. And then after moving into when I moved to SIO in 2007, I asked to be reordained with the Universal Life Church, or being reinstated basically. And they reinstated me back in 2007. Like I said, my original certificate, thanks to a minister in Newcomerstown area, he burned it. He burned it and burned a bunch of my other certificates, degrees that I earned, because, well, he said he just wanted to look at it. And then I'm like, where's my degrees? Oh, I burned them. I burned them. Who gave him the right to burn something that I earned? Of course, the Doctor of Divinity degree is an honorary degree that is bestowed upon all Universal Life Church ministers. But here is what I earned. I earned a master's degree in religion. In 2000, I completed it and earned the degree in December of 2000. I earned it. I studied and I earned it. And I earned a Doctor of Philosophy in Religion about a year after that. Well, actually, it was in April. 'Cause I was studying for both at the same time, my master's degree and my doctorate degree. And then, of course, they changed this. They're no longer calling it Soul Clinic's license because, you know, nobody else can license people. Only states can. But at one point in time, churches were able to license people as well. But I got my Soul Clinic's course in 2001. And then I saw one time something about something called Theosophic Prayer Ministry. And so I studied and earned my certificate in Theosophic Prayer Ministry. It's Theo, or Theos, which means, Theo, which means God, and Phosic, which means light, or God's light, which is Jesus Christ. I've also earned a certificate in studying Revelations. I'm licensed to solemnize marriages in the state of Ohio under the Universal Life Church, or the United Christian Ministries International, either or. And then I have even while I was basically doing all that studying in the past for my degrees, my religious degrees, I went to a college called Mansfield Business College in Canton, Ohio. And I earned my certificate in private security and investigations. This course was basically considered as a police academy course. And I earned my Ohio Peace Officer Training Council, State of Ohio, Office of the Attorney General, Ohio Peace Officer Private Security Training Program. Like I said, this course was just it was the equivalent to Police Academy. Well, I went on and I worked as a home health aide. I studied in my first time becoming a home health aide was in January of 90. I worked as a home health aide for the Tuscarawas County Health Department. And then I went on and worked with Good Samaritan Hospital in Zanesville. I then went on and I became a school bus driver and drove school bus for another 5 years. I earned many certificates in school. In high school, I earned Best Attitude Certificate, which is something I mentioned to that psychiatrist, but yet she kind of like blew it off like, oh, he earned a Best Attitude Certificate. Well, here it is. It's not a lie. I don't think my school teacher at the time, or the principal, well, excuse me, wait a minute, that's perfect attendance. I'm showing you the wrong one. Right here, my OWE teacher, Best Attitude. Ray McFadden. He has a brother that's a doctor in New Philadelphia. So, you know, go tell him he's a liar that I didn't earn the best attitude certificate. I also earned in 1986 Liberty and Justice Merit Award from the American Police Hall of Fame. When I was selling grit when I was younger, I earned a little certificate. And then, to top all that off, I went to Belmont Technical College from 2007 to 2009, and I earned, oh, I gotta get back with you. God bless you. Have a blessed day.